first game ever to feature an ASMR mode. In other words, you push a button and all of the dialogue, all of the sound effects, and all of the music is replaced with ASMR friendly versions. So whispering for the dialogue, sound effects are calm and quiet, the music is changed so that it's less aggressive and it might focus more on muted melodies than it does on, really conveying the urgency and aggression. So that's super exciting, and along with me is a team of people helping me make a game, as well as a lot of ASMR artists who will feature their voices and whispers in our game, likes of the Furry Fox, Little Dove, or I guess she just goes by Dovey, Indigo Stars, ASMR Nerd, Seafoam Kitten, etc., etc. People. More to come probably. So that's really exciting, and I wanted to talk more about what we've been doing recently on our game. And if you want to keep up to date after the video, which you should, there's links in the description to our Discord server where you can join the community, and the Steam page where you can add it to your wish list, which you definitely should. It helps us a ton. Okay, so jumping into the more exciting stuff, which is more what we've been working on recently. So I have been hard at work adding members to the team that can help with little tasks that we hadn't really started doing, or tasks that needed to be delegated to a new person because it was just too much work for one person to do. So, for example, my brother, who you may know, he has a YouTube channel that's also linked below. He has a channel that he has multiple channels. One is an art channel. He does nice drawings and stuff like that. He also has his main vlog channel. And because he's good at art, I figured I could get him on board to do some art for our game. Now, initially, I wanted him to just edit our development logs. We're going to do some devlogs on YouTube. But I was like, nah, I can use him for more. So he is now going to be doing a redesign of the main character, as well as a bunch of art for promotional posters, and also some in-game art for when characters are speaking. So the character used to look something like this, and we are looking at ways to redesign this character to get a more consistent style across all of the characters, because he's going to be drawing them, and also redesign the character to maybe be a little bit more, I don't want to use the word realistic, to look more like a 14-year-old girl, and like, I don't know, to really fit the character and get the emotions that we want. So the new design is more like this. This is just a rough, honestly it's basically just a sketch, but it's going to be the basis for the final new version, and it will be cool to see that develop. We haven't got a final version yet, so maybe I'll show you that, or we can put it on the server. You should join. That's really exciting, and a design challenge that has come up recently is our main character and the puppet version of the character are two separate characters, kind of, and in the game itself you play as the puppet version. Now, this might be a little bit boring for some, but it's interesting to me that when I show people the game, they ask, oh, is that the final version of the player character? Like, is that it, basically? A lot of people had that sort of question, and that was at first disheartening, and I felt like I had to justify, oh yeah, no, but it's not the character, it's the puppet, that's why it looks so low detail and looks so different and whatever, but it's not immediately obvious that it is the puppet version of the character. And so we thought, okay, what are some ways we can make this more clear to people who are picking up the game or are seeing the game in promotional art and so on? One solution that we are implementing now is to make the main hoodie a color. Like, it used to just be white, and so the puppet would wear black and white clothing, and the main character would wear black and white clothing. And because they look so similar, you kind of just assumed, oh yeah, well, it's not the puppet version, it's just a different render of the main character that doesn't look like the main character. You know, if you assume that it's just a render of the main character, then you kind of just think it's bad. So conveying that it is not indeed a render of the main character, but rather the puppet version, we can set people's expectations a little bit so they don't get disappointed too much. And the other thing is our promotional art will be designed differently. So some really early promo art that we had looks like this. Now, if we take a closer look here, you can see the main character is featured prominently and aggressively. You can see there's a lot of anger and emotion in this, and they are wielding a weapon. And I'm like, okay, cool. But really, it's the puppet version that's the aggressor. And the raw sadness and loneliness and confusion in this 14-year-old girl is really the main prominent emotions in her. And she's just projecting that through anger with her puppet. So it all makes sense, like, in the story and the lore, I guess. But so in the future, we'll be designing posters differently. For example, we could have the main character project her emotions not as anger, but rather as confusion, sadness, etc. And then have, for example, the puppet version of her prominently featured on her shoulder, wielding a weapon and being all brave and mad. So, like, we portray them as two separate beings, basically. I think that way it would be easier for someone who sees any promotional art to go, oh, okay, when they see it in the game, that's the puppet version, you know. It's a really exciting design challenge because it's not one that you can really read about, you know. You don't Google, how do I represent my two separate but same characters differently so that it is obvious that the in-game character is actually the puppet. You can't Google that. It's not a common design challenge. So it's really fun to sit there and really think, how can we convey to people that this is actually not the main character rendered down, but rather a puppet version. Anyway, sorry, it's really exciting stuff for me. Like, I love it. Other work that we've been doing recently is, well, we got a new community manager recently, but they're also gonna help with some marketing stuff. So they've put together a list of YouTubers that play games on YouTube. Now, that's cool, but it's like especially cool because it's like 100 YouTubers, their email, their Twitters, whatever social, like everything, like it's all there, where they come from, so we know when to message them or when to send an email, so they'll see it, right? You send it in the early afternoon or maybe morning, you know, to these people, depending on where they live. And like, I don't know, it's just cool, and it's well organized, and it's really exciting to have someone who's passionate about that stuff work on that and really like get everything in order, because that's the kind of thing that I would not have the motivation to do on my own. So I'm really glad that I've been able to find really good team members that can help with that sort of thing. And although the writer is not finalized, I am talking to a other ASMR artist actually, who may be writing for our game, and that will be exciting. So I've been looking into how can we set up the workflow and structure of the story, and how can I convey that to this person. Well, one thing again that I learned today is the term feeder line. A feeder line is a line of dialogue in a game that precedes a player action, often a player choice in dialogue. This is something that they do a lot in the Telltale adventure games, like The Walking Dead or Minecraft story mode. They will have some dialogue back and forth between characters and things that happen, and then there's a line that response, and the player can then choose between different options. And that is cool, and like they call that a feeder line, and so it's nice for me to be able to conceptualize like the structure and like how you do it, so I can now talk to the writer and be like, okay, so this is how we set things up, these are the types of relationships we have, this is how the dialogue is structured. You have context in the form of dialogue back and forth, and then a feeder line to prompt a character, a player character choice, whether that's a choice of dialogue or a choice to choose between two characters or something. So it's fun for me, you know, to learn more about this stuff and find ways we can employ it in our game, because that's, I don't know, it's just really cool. I love design in games. Oh dude, it's exciting. So that's basically what we've been working on lately, and we're just chugging along. And I really hope that you guys are excited about the ASMR mode, because that's entirely unique, and honestly it's a lot of work, extra work, that we can't really do if people don't support it, you know. So if you want to see ASMR mode become a thing in video games, this is the game to support. So join our community. There's links in the description to both our Discord community and our Steam page where you can wishlist the game. That helps a lot. Go wishlist our game. Alright, sick. So, I hope to see you on the Discord, and you can give us suggestions for various media properties you can reference and all that kind of stuff. So, I'll see you there. I think that's everything. Yeah, now I gotta record a Mad Sense video for my Mad Sense channel.